Hi students, welcome to our class again. I hope all of you are having a good time. Yes, let's start. Today we are going to discuss 7th class civics chapter 1 on equality. I have displayed two important pictures here. You just watch this picture, and the first one, it is article 15. You can see both are displaying a same meaning. Do you remember? Can you recall this picture? Yes, it was a film released last year 2019, the well known film Article 15, directed by Anubhav Sinha, and it is starred by the famous actor Ayushmann Khurrana. The film name, let me repeat, Article 15. Do you know what is Article 15? Our chapter has a close connection with this. Article 15. Yes. Article 15, it is one among the fundamental right of Indian Constitution, that is right to equality. Yes. So this picture, I am giving you a small summary about this chapter, film actually. Article 15 last year released, 2019 it is released, and it is based on the film starting with two Dalit daughters. They were trapped in a bus by some men. So, do you notice that word? Dalit daughters. Dalit daughters. We will come to that. We will come to that word. Okay, again. So, because it is a key word according to this chapter. So, let me move. This is directed by Anubhav Sinha, and Article 15, the very famous film. You can see we are discussing about Article 15, that film, and the film is inspired by some true events, especially 2014 Bodon gang rape allegation. This was the main matter of this film, and which indirectly says the discrimination against the Dalit girls, Dalit group. Okay, so we are coming to this chapter. So I told you once again our topic is equality. So please do write the title on equality as the first chapter, civics for class 7. See children, here it is another picture that also conveys the same meaning. You can see different iconic symbols of different religions. So that means Indian democracy, especially Indian administration, gives equal importance for all the religion. You can see different religious symbols. That means a secular country. Remember, secularism means treating all religions equally. There is a last word, have you noticed? Yes, equally, equality, equal consideration, equal treatment. So let's move to the concept on equality. Equality is one of the important pillars of Indian democracy. See children, democracy we cannot imagine without equality. That means it is an inevitable part. Democracy means people's power. When these people get to this power, when they have a equal consideration, when the superior authority gives equal consideration to entire people community, then only they will enjoy equality, then only they will get democratic peace, then only they can enjoy democracy as a system of administration, right? So my concept is equality is the basic idea of democracy. Clear? Okay children, I told you we are directly moving to the chapter. The chapter is starting with a story. Our chapter on equality is starting with a story of Kanta. She is a domestic servant, and she was from a poor background. She has a kid, and her kid is always very sick. Okay, I am giving you the background, you have to read that story. But what my idea is, Kanta, the poor domestic worker, was standing in a queue to cast her vote. Okay, she was, just imagine, she was standing in a queue and she is casting, she is ready to cast her vote, and she just noticed just behind her Mem Sahib, Jain Sahib is waiting for what? For the same purpose. Then she just embarrassed. She noticed that he is such a big or rich person and the employer, and he is just standing behind her. Impossible. But she thought. Her mental process again deeply thought, and she found a reason. Because we are living in a democratic country and main purpose is casting our vote. Okay, for casting our vote for a country, for a democratic country, all are equal. There is no discrimination on the basis of caste, color, money, gender. Okay, all are equal. All are equal. That is what Kanta thought. Then in the story, the next part, I told you, her kid is always very sick. Gudiya. Gudiya was her name. She was always very sick, and Kanta knows what the reason. She is from a poor background, she is living in a slum area, so it comes. But she thought when she goes to an hospital to meet a doctor, at the same time her employer, that is Jain Sahib, is also going for an hospital. Suppose he is getting a free entry. There is no queue. There is no line to maintain. And at that time she thought, how this can be happened? There is no equality. Then she thought that for casting our vote we maintain an equal concept, equality, but the same she is not getting from a hospital. That is the contradictory element. Yes, I told you children, Kanta and all were waiting to cast their vote. Just imagine that story. Yes, and I told you under democracy that is considered as an integral process. Can you term this concept? We have studied in 6th and 7th standard. Yes. Let me write. Universal adult franchise. What it means? Yes, under democracy, every citizen, those who pass the age of 18, has the right to cast their vote and to elect their representatives. That is what universal adult franchise. That is why Kanta is waiting for casting their vote irrespective of any ground. There all are equal. So universal adult franchise is simply based on the concept equality. What is that? Equality. Then only we can attain this goal. What is our goal? A democratic government. A democratic government. A democracy. Then only we can ensure democracy in a country. So first phase of democracy, we need to have equality. That is why our constitution, when our framers of constitution, they framed Indian constitution with the fundamental right, starting with the right to equality. Do you know which article? Article 14 to 18. Article 14 to 18 dealing with the right to equality. That is why I displayed Article 15 as the film poster. You remember Article 15, I will come to that. Yes, children, we had a story of Kanta, and next again we have two important stories on your way. First one, it is the story of Om Prakash Valmiki, the story of Om Prakash Valmiki and the story of Mr. and Mrs. Ansari. And both these stories, let me say, both these stories are considered as an example for inequality. So, before moving to the concept equality, you have to make an idea about inequality, because we need to discuss more on that. Inequality still, even though it is inequality is a fundamental right, inequality is also there on the other side. That is also considered as we cannot agree with that inequality. But we have two stories, story of Om Prakash Valmiki and Mr. and Mrs. Ansari, as I told. Om Prakash Valmiki was a Dalit child. Let me say, was a Dalit child. Om Prakash Valmiki was a Dalit child. Dalit means, the term Dalit means broken. You have to know that. The term Dalit means broken. Okay, he is from a low caste family, he is an untouchable. At that time, he entered in a school for getting education, but unfortunately, my dear children, he was denied education by the teacher. Most of the times, he was sweeping the ground, playground, school, and who is assigning that duty on Prakash? The headmaster himself. You cannot imagine that. This was the period that we overcame here. Yes, the first thing is Om Prakash Valmiki was sweeping on the ground, and he has to do all the work which was assigned by the headmaster. That means he denied education, he was treated unequally. That means inequality was there. Clear? Then you have to read that story well. Then what happened? His father suddenly came one day and he confronted against this headmaster, and he told that this is not fair, this is not right, because you are the symbol of knowledge. You have to say, you have to consider all are equal, but at the same time, what happened to my child? He is denied education. Okay, he is not getting education, and even that he has to sit away from other children, and this is not at all considered as a legal thing. This is an atrocity, he told. So, the rudimentary thing you have to follow is equality. Equality means equal consideration. That is what denied here for Om Prakash Valmiki. Why? Because he is from an untouchable community. He is a Dalit. He is a low caste community member. Only because of that. Just imagine the situation. And the next story is Mr. and Mrs. Ansari's. They were looking for an apartment to live. But what happened? After a lot of struggle, they are not getting. But they managed to find out one apartment. What happened? Yes, immediately they got the apartment, and house lady, they came to know this Miss Ansari and Mr. Ansari and Mrs. Ansari were from Islamic religion, and they were denied the basic right to live. Why? Because they are saying that we cannot admit these people because only they are consuming non-veg items. So, such a paining incident it is. So, what happened, the agent told to change the name. Mr. and Mrs. Ansari's name should change, then only they would get an apartment. That is the situation. So, here children, we can see Om Prakash Valmiki and Mr. and Mrs. Ansari, these were the characters of these two different stories. One was mainly discriminated on the basis of his caste, not the difference, and Mr. and Mrs. Ansari, they were discriminated on the basis of their religion. Both are considered as inequality. These are the different forms of inequality. In the textbook, the story has given, you have to go through that story. Okay. So, what is our conclusion? When persons are treated unequally, their dignity is violated. So, children, I told you we have our own identity. When this identity get lost, yes, if you are treated unequally, definitely your dignity will be violated. You will lose your identity. That is what happened for Om Prakash Valmiki and Mr. and Mrs. Ansari. Okay. So, children, after reading the story, you have to differentiate these two important stories. Okay. I told you one is discriminated on the basis of caste and another is discriminated on the basis of religion. Okay. So, we are moving to the concept equality. What do you mean by equality? We all know Indian Constitution guarantees 6 fundamental rights. Indian Constitution guarantees 6 fundamental rights: right to equality, right to freedom of religion, right against exploitation, cultural and educational right, constitutional remedies. And this right to equality is very important. What do you mean by equality? Because through some stories, Kanta's story, Om Prakash story, Jutan, then the Mr. and Mrs. Ansari's story, we have well made an idea about equality and inequality, because these persons were treated unequally. Clear? So, what do you mean by equality? Yes, I mentioned equality means equal treatment for all the people, every citizen of the country. It is one of the important pillars of democracy as well. So, equality means equal consideration, there should be no discrimination. Article 14 means equality before law and equal protection of law. That means every citizen of our country shall be protected by law equally. Shall be protected by law equally, there is no discrimination. So, we are moving to the fundamental right to equality, as I told, between Article 14 to Article 18. Yes, children, Article 14 to 18 dealing with the right to equality, our first fundamental right, very important, you need to learn. First article is Article 14. As I told, Article 14 means equality before law and equal protection of law. Explanation I have given. Yes. Article 15, do you remember our class? The beginning I have showed that last year's film poster, Article 15, that means no discrimination on the basis of any ground, any streams, caste, religion, language, gender, etc. That means all are treated equally. Clear? Then Article 16 means equal accessibility to the public facilities by all. There is also another concept, that is no discrimination. Article 17, I can say one of the important articles of Indian Constitution. Even though it is not directly dealing with our textbook, we had a story of Om Prakash Valmiki. Article 17 was purely denied. What do you mean by Article 17? Yes, abolition of untouchability. Abolition of untouchability, do you know very important feature of untouchability, this right, this article. And Article 17 was passed by Indian Parliament by saying the slogan Mahatma Gandhi Ji ki Jai. Please note this information. Okay, Article 17 means abolition of untouchability. We had our drafting committee chairman Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He always stood against untouchability. Another person, another reformer. So, Article 17 means abolition of untouchability. Overall 4 articles and dealing with equality, the major concept. Article 14 to 18, clear? Yes. We already discussed equality as a concept. Equality means equal consideration. But remember, as I told, under a democratic government, equality is such an important concept. It is a significant concept. Without equality, we cannot imagine democracy. We cannot fulfill democracy. How this equality can be executed in a democratic government? I have displayed 2 important, for your better idea, I have displayed, you can see this flow chart. One is laws and schemes. Laws already we discussed. That means laws which were written in the constitution, okay, in the form of different articles. But remember, these schemes, very important. Our government is also introduced various schemes for providing equality to the people, to the grassroots level. The first important programs you need to study is midday meal scheme. Midday meal scheme. Yes. Children, midday meal scheme was one of the milestone program of India's government, democratic government, which ensures meals to the students. It was introduced in the year 2001 in the state of Tamil Nadu. In the state of Tamil Nadu. So, which state introduced a midday meal scheme for the first time? Yes, Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is also introduced right to information for the first time. You please note the extra information. Okay. So, midday meal scheme was introduced in the year 2001. It was successfully launched in Tamil Nadu, the state of Tamil Nadu, and later expanded to all over India. Remember, what are the important benefits or features of midday meal scheme? More than it's a new food program, midday meal scheme created a large impact, spillover effects in education as well. How? First thing is enrollment of children. Enrollment of children has been increased. The admission process, admission of children has been increased. Clear? That is considered as the first feature. You cannot imagine in the northeastern part of India, majority they are sending their children only for getting their meals, at least for one time. So, in such a case, midday meal has a crucial role to play. Okay. So, automatically what happens when enrollment increases, you can see it is in a positive trend. Then what will happen? The dropout ratio will, yes, the dropout ratio of children will reduce. So, children, when admission process increases, what will happen? Definitely it will reflect in educational system. So, When admission process increases, educational quality, it improved the educational status of these children. Okay. So, we can increase as a result literacy improved. Okay. Then when we discuss midday meal program, these are the major features or benefits. Okay. So, let me summarize. Midday meal scheme introduced in the year 2001 in Tamil Nadu, then later expanded to all over India. Then as a result, admission of children increased and dropout ratio has been reduced. Then educational status or the quality of education improved. Okay. Then let me note one another important feature which can be considered as an indirect benefit of midday meal scheme. What is that? Children, when our government introduced this midday meal scheme, we all know this is a school feeding program. It is considered as the biggest school feeding program in the world. Okay. So, what happened? These tribal women or some Dalit workers, especially women folk, they were assigned the task to prepare the meals for the kids. So, what happened? It is, in a sense, it is an employment guarantee scheme. So, these are the major benefits of midday meal scheme. So, children, let me summarize. In this slide, we have studied equality, how it can be implemented, how it can be executed. Okay. So, equality can be executed two ways. First one, it is laws. These laws are included in our constitution. I do not want to explain this again. Okay. And the major scheme, one of the important schemes, that is midday meal scheme. Okay. Then another many important schemes were launched by Indian government, especially now I remember that MNREGS introduced in the year 2006. The act came into force in the year 2005. It is also another important employment guarantee scheme, but it is not included in our syllabus. Okay, whatever, these are the major features or these are the major areas through which we can implement equality in its full-fledged form. Okay. Children, I told you right to equality is one among the fundamental rights. Our preamble is also showing equality, how important a concept it is. Okay. You can see this justice, liberty, equality, these are the key pillars of Indian constitution. Justice means treating all equally, that means legal justice, social justice and political justice. In this concept is indirectly connected with equality. Okay. Then liberty, equality, fraternity, these were the key important aspects of Indian preamble, Indian constitution's preamble. Father of Indian preamble is Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay. So, we are moving to the next important, you can see Indian constitution came into force on 26th January 1950, which we celebrate as the first Republic Day. On the same day, we elected our President of India. So, this is the day our constitution came into effect, and you all know this person. Our brain behind the Indian constitution, the architect of Indian constitution. Do you know which caste he represented? I think we have we have Ambedkar as the greatest example. Okay. So, he is always, I told you, he always stood against untouchability. That is, he is from Mahar caste. Okay. Ambedkar was the chief architect of Indian constitution, we all know, and he always fought against untouchability. So, keep learning about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So, Indian Constitution recognizes every person as equal. That means equality means equal consideration. Some key definition you need to learn, my dear students. Equality means equal consideration, equal treatment for all the people irrespective of our caste, religion, gender, language, wealth, etc. That means equal consideration. There is a famous proverb, unequals are treated as unequals. The difference between rich and poor increases, each according to his capacity, each according to his needs. All these proverbs saying still inequality is existed. In some other chapters we will discuss about manual scavenging. Manual scavenging, some Dalit people still now, some Dalit people are assigned the task of cleaning and doing some works to clean our surroundings by using brooms, by using baskets. Okay, that is what manual scavenging, which is against equality. Okay, we are moving to another important event. Please, I invite your attention here, important provision in the Constitution, equality, that is every person is equal before law, equality before law and equal protection of law, Article 14. Article 15, no discrimination on the basis of their caste, gender, etc. Every person has access to all public facilities as I told, and untouchability is abolished, that is Article 17. I do not want to repeat it again, clear? Yes. Okay children, I would like to pay your attention here. We are moving to the last section of this chapter, American Civil Rights Movement. Happened in USA in late 1950s. Rosa Parks was the reformer behind this movement. You all know it was the struggle in between Afro-Americans against the whites. Why? Afro-Americans, Africans were migrated laborers and they settled in America, and these Afro-Americans were considered as the poor sections of the community, and they were highly discriminated on the basis of their race. Children, in the first part we studied about caste discrimination, discrimination on the basis of religion, another important inequality. The discrimination, that is racial discrimination, happened in USA. What happened? USA, the Rosa Parks, under the leadership of Rosa Parks, they organized a big revolt against the whites because they were treated unequally. They cannot access public facilities. If you enter into a bus, you need to get up when a white man comes. Okay, they cannot access the theaters, public parks. They cannot take water from public wells. These kinds of atrocities, inequality, discrimination were existed. That is what civil rights movement originated in America, USA. Okay, so we are studying all these incidents and events to generate an idea about equality is considered as a milestone event, an idea to be fought, because around the world we can see nowadays also we can see the inequality continues. So we have to fight against equality. For that a democratic government is needed, for that a constitution, a strong constitution is needed, and for that we need good leaders. So I request to my dear children, we need to fight against inequality. We have to prove equality is there. Okay, I will stop my class with a famous slogan, which was donated by French Revolution. What is that? Equality, fraternity, liberty. So, children, I urge you, before I wind up, we need to fight against inequality. As French Revolution contributed, liberty, equality, fraternity, that should be our motto. Thank you. Good day.